And you have to see this in context. Okay, so let's look at the last 30 years. And I say this, don't applaud. Listen, I want to talk to you about what you're going to tell other people. And I'm trying to make the point that it wasn't just me. It was the difference in ideas. It's what you believe in, what your values are. So you heard John say, in the 28 years I served, we had 22.7 million new jobs. That's more jobs than in their whole 20 years. More in 8 than in their 20. And I'm not counting the ones we lost after the crash. We moved 100 times as many people from poverty to the middle class. In that 8 years is in those 20. The only 4 years in which the bottom 20% of our workers had their incomes increase in percentage terms as much as the top 20% were in those 8 years. The only balanced budgets and surpluses we had were in those 8 years. How in the wide world any American could seriously believe that the Republicans were more fiscally conservative and responsible than the Democrats when there is not a shred of evidence for it? Bothers me. We got to carry out somebody else. It's too hot in here, that's what it is. Take them out. She's fine, she's walking out. Now listen. You can't do anything about that. Somebody's going to help. You listen to this. So what does that tell you? That tells you that it's not just who was president, it's what they believe in. There are consequences which flow from the things you believe in and do. And we got evidence out our ears about what works.
Yes.
They talk about the debt. The debt of this country was quadrupled from $1 to $4 trillion for the first time in American history in the 12 years before I became president. That's how come I got elected. Interest rates were so high, the economy was tanking. We'd never had permanent debt before, ever. But we were told, we were treated like children and we bought it. We were told, you know, you get all the candy you want, you'll never have to go to the dentist, and when those dark things appear on your teeth, they're not cavities. Everything's free. So then I came in and we did what we did. We paid down $600 billion on the national debt. We'd be out of debt today, or within 5 years anyway, if they just stay with my budget. So we had those 4 surpluses. Then I got out and they repealed the pay-as-you-go rule, which I call the law of arithmetic, and said they didn't have to pay anything. So they fought 2 wars, gave the senior citizens a drug benefit, passed President Bush's finest accomplishment, the PEPFAR program, which helps fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria around the world, but they borrowed the money from somebody else to pay for it so Bill Clinton could get 5 tax cuts. I wanted to support the men and women in uniform in Iraq and Afghanistan. I wanted to pay for their body armor. I wanted to be there. I had been treated well by my country, and instead I was told to shut up and take my tax cuts. And it didn't work. They had 2.5 million jobs as compared with 22.7 million. In other words, a 90% drop in new jobs. Now, those are the policies that the mayor's opponent says he wants to bring back to America. You've got 28 years of evidence. This can't be a fact-free election just because people are hurting and frustrated and mad. It matters what the truth is.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We got to get out of this hole, not wallow around in it. So look, here's the deal. Here's where we are. Compared to the bottom of the recession, which hit about 6 months after the president took office. Because you can't stop a train going downhill 200 miles an hour in 10 seconds. We have recovered 70% of our lost income, 7-0. How's the competition doing? Germany 60%, Japan 50%, Great Britain 30%. That's not cause for applause, but it ought to give you pause before you go back to the trouble that got us here.